What's up, everybody? Midjourney Fast Hours Podcast, episode 45. Rory Flynn, Drew Brucker, coming fresh off the Midjourney video release. Last episode, we went deep into that one. And Midjourney video is just kind of blowing people's minds. Pretty well received across the board. If you haven't dove into video yet and you haven't been exploring with that, or you just need a little bit of guidance, highly recommend that last episode. But yeah, man, we've had a couple weeks here. I think we took a week off to kind of digest this, and I'm curious, with video, like, has there been anything surprising or new that's come to mind now that we've had a little bit more time to play with it, or is it pretty straightforward in your mind in terms of like what can be done?
I think it's really unique, man. Like, I've been finding way more uses for it than I probably originally thought. Like, I was playing with a lot of different stuff over the last 2 weeks. One was just taking like mood boards that I had created in, not the actual like feature mood boards, but like actual static image mood boards, and animating them. And like some of the complexity in the animations were like insane. I was like pretty blown away by that. And then also more of like I was doing like, I'm calling it transformative prompting because I don't know what else to call it, which was like take like this image.
Sounds good.
Of something and turn it into something else, right? Like where maybe you have like a more abstract image, and it was like, for example, I'll probably show this later on in the episode at some point, where it was like I had this abstract image of like a skull and butterfly wings, and then I was like, turn this into a ballerina, and it just like instantly morphed it like seamlessly, and like it didn't make it look weird, like it sort of like fit with the way that the image was constructed, and took it from there. So there's been a few things like that. I started playing with, products for marketing. I'm like, can I just put a product image in here and then like turn it like, if it's a candle that's scented like like an oranges, can I turn that candle into oranges like for these little stupid marketing assets? So it's like, it feels like every day it's something new. Like we know the good stuff, right? Like we talked about this on the last episode where it's like, yeah, the motion's great. The coherence is good. The creativity is good. It's like, well, where's the end point? Like, where is it not functioning well? But I haven't really found much. The only thing I've been noticing on the downside is sometimes like the pacing is a little bit weird. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's either like really fast when it doesn't need to be, or it tries to like do a little bit too much, which I'd rather have that than do too little. So I don't know. Have you been feeling the same thing? Or you? I feel like I've seen some really interesting stuff coming out of your page as of recent.
Yeah, man.
Style code stuff.
Yeah, like style code stuff. I mean, I think like with this, it's just, there's a lot of experimentation to be had, right? It's like, okay, you've got Midjourney images that you're going to animate. There's all the functionality within the high and low motion, and like, just kind of testing those for what they are, then trying, more the manual approach with the coherence and adding things in and the control there. Then there's the component of like adding third-party images in and like, how does it handle this? I think, there's the ability to kind of like take this into a more long-form style and connect a series of things. Like I haven't gone that far because just bandwidth. I just don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
But I would say in the smaller type projects that I'm doing, like, again, pretty easy to do, not overwhelming, pretty straightforward, and I think it welcomes, people experienced or not right into the fold of creating videos in an uncomplicated way. And so I think like those are sort of the key things that still resonate with me after we've kind of had this tool for a while. I'm still loving the explore page for videos. I probably haven't spent a ton of time here, but like I love looking through this in the same way that I loved looking through the explore page early on when we first started using Midjourney.
Yeah.
To like really kind of like fill in the gas. Just like, oh shit, like didn't even think about that kind of animation yet. So it's just, there are so many images we've created historically now. How much time do we have, to kind of like go into each of these, like maybe different styles of images and, different stories we're trying to tell. But I think like just in general, I love looking at this. And then I've loved, just kind of creating more, I would just say like more of the smaller scale stuff.
Like the abstract stuff, which has been a little bit, or the heavily, sort of design focused stuff that just I know is not going to be great with some of the other image or video generators, right? Like it's so. And you know what's weird? I don't know if you're doing this. Like, I've also, just so everyone knows, I've topped up 3 times this month already, so I just keep giving Midjourney money because I can't. It's like I get into an idea, and once you go past your threshold, you hit like the extra credit threshold real quick. So I've been like sort of noticing that I select images differently for video on Midjourney than I do on other tools. Where I'm like,
tell me about that.
I just want to see, like, this one I might not throw into VO, right? Because I'm like, I know this isn't going to work. Like, I know it's not going to be able to handle it. I know it's not going to do what I want it to do because that's too abstract or that's too outrageous. But here I'm like, maybe the weird ones are the better ones. Because the simple ones, it's like I can take it at anyone. It's kind of like which ones are the ones that I think only Midjourney can handle, which is maybe sort of select what I'm doing or what video I'm trying to generate differently. But I don't know if that's a problem that everyone has, but that's sort of something where I've been finding a little bit different lately, going back to my old stuff and being like, oh, totally forgot how insane this was. Let's try this,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, there's one interesting thing here too, right? Like with let me go back. Let me find maybe this one. Like this one, this is not the original prompt up here, right? And so, like, it's just fun. like the first one, I might even just kind of hit auto and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did here. And then by the time I got here, it was like, okay, I would need to provide extra direction to make sure that it's going to go into here, right? So that's when I got into the manual mode. And then same with this, right? You're not going to get that unless you prompt for that. It is kind of interesting though, like when you choose to extend, right? Because it's like, okay, let me extend, right? And now, like, let's just say it's this one. So you almost have to like take out what you originally had and then have like a net new prompt, unless it's, again, I think it really just depends on what you're prompting. But for me, a lot of what I've animated has been like more of like a generalized prompt, because most of the time I've just done them with sref. So I'm taking like that existing prompt, which is pretty short and a little bit ambiguous, and then I'm having to take that out and then provide something that's much more specific. So that part of it, I guess, is maybe just a little bit of getting used to, but in general, like pretty much same sentiments as I had before around a lot of this stuff.
Here's the interesting thing with that. I've found I've had a lot more fun letting Midjourney take the initial pass at it. So like doing, auto high, auto low, seeing where it goes, and then like, oh, that gave me an idea. Let me take it this way. Like the cow, if you didn't do anything and maybe you put, motion high in there, auto prompt, and like the cow started like going up into the UFO without you sort of directing it, you can then start to play with it from that point. So to me, it's just like a good jump off point. Like, let's see what Midjourney thinks this image is going to do. And then
that's exactly what I did
with
this. Is I ran that a bunch. I think I ran that 2 or 3 times, both on low and high auto, just to see like different interpretations of what it would do with it. And then I think that's enough to really tell me, okay, am I going to get anything that I kind of want to get after running that a few times? And then if not, then that would be a cue for me to probably go ahead and prompt it manually. But I agree. Like, I like to run it auto first and kind of get an interpretation of what it's picking up, and then I can, for that next 4 seconds, I can prompt something maybe more specific. And the coherence on the manual stuff's been pretty good.
Definitely.
It's been pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's been maybe better than I thought it was going to be.
I found that broad concept prompting still works here for video. Like, I think there's this over indexing. Everyone's just like, has to be natural language to describe, but like it still seems like you can do that like the old V5 style of prompting, where it's just like throw some keywords in and let it ride. I've been doing that a lot, especially with like, it's been handling mood and emotion really well. Like if I say like this type of mood, like peace and serenity, or aggressive or whatever. Like it handles that and like seems to like understand emotion in some way, shape, or form, the way that it does for images as well, which to me is I love that. VO does that. Not gonna throw shade on anyone else. Like VO does that really well too. Can take like sort of abstract mood and like apply it to the image aesthetic or the video aesthetic. But like some of this stuff, I've been liking motion low more for like shots like this where you just want some character movement, right, without like sort of losing it, if that makes sense. Because sometimes the motion high can be too fast, like you might just sort of like rip through a scene and it looks.
This one fucking
crazy.
Caught me off guard because this I think was the first video animation I ran for this image, and he just like took off with scuba fins, and I was like, wait,
hold up,
yeah.
I love when the generators think something's underwater when it's not, and it just like immediately throws it into like underwater mode like this. Like it probably thinks those are like coral or like anemone or however you say it. Anemone?
Yeah.
Anemone was just Finding Nemo. And then just runs with it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we were doing that. Remember that summer? We were doing this event, summer camp, and I was just kind of playing around with the idea of like if you had sort of like camp counselors like huddling over you, like telling you to wake up kind of thing.
I was thinking there was more like hazing, like get your ass up.
That too.
This is that's cool though. Like look at the radial blur that it kept there.
Yeah.
Like, even as the camera moves, like you still see the radial blur around the ring, basically around the outside of their heads, right? Starting basically like at their chin in the background. Like that's super cool that it keeps stuff like that. Like I love, you know me. I like those small little details that make me excited.
Yeah, so that was a cool one. But there were a bunch of notes on video too, right? So let's like pick this back up too in terms of some of the things that we saw earlier, in terms of like what we reported on last pod, but also some of the things that were dropped yesterday on office hours. And there's some interesting things here, right? Most of the office hours notes from yesterday, so we're shooting this on Thursday, are around video. So start and end frame features in dev for better control.
Cool.
They talked about the looping functionality being added. So video loops, sweet.
Like that.
Motion quality improvements underway. So that's a long-term project. This one, a little bit of a bummer, but I think we can handle it based on what they did for us with the download for social thing. But video upscaler delayed by 1 month. Turbo mode coming. This is interesting.
Professional video features, huh? And also, I think everyone just Drew and I are going into this completely cold, not listening to office hours, so we're reacting. This live.
We both missed it. Yeah. This is interesting because I was looking at the notes and I was like, oh, okay. Native HD image to video mode ready for testing. 20x more expensive than standard.
Okay.
Likely limited to mega plans. Designed for professional film production use cases. Higher quality output justified for projects with substantial budgets.
So here's something interesting, right? Like on the 480p side of things, maybe because it's less resolution, we're getting so much better stuff. Because I was talking to going back again to I don't know, like 20 episodes when we had Min on here who was testing, Sora. I went back to him the other day because I was trying to do something on Sora, and I was like, was the secret the whole time to use 480 instead of 720 or 1080? He goes, yeah, I thought I told you that. I was like, what? That would have been nice. Like it's
interesting. Why is that? From like an artifact standpoint of like picking up?
So it might just be the coherence because it's not so focused on like everything being super sharp and defined, and it can sort of like curve, its efforts in a way where it focuses on the actual coherence and the movement versus like making it crystal clear clarity and picking up on every single detail. So like that's what I was having this discussion the other day with someone. Like I will gladly sacrifice and utilize 480p if I get what I want, or I get like the motion or like the effect that I'm looking for, and then I can upscale it with Topaz, which has been great. And I know that.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. That's what we talked about last week too. So that was a good point, and also something I've been sort of like hearing across the board from other people that do a lot of video is they're taking that into something like Topaz and just upscaling it there. So yeah, if you really need it, you got it. But then, you also have the nice option, which I don't know. Did they add this since we talked? I think so. But it's like you can go in here and download for social, and then this puts it into a higher res just for social, so it's not getting compressed.
Yeah. There's that, and then there's that little button next to the heart. I think it does the same thing, if I'm maybe correct on that.
Download raw video.
Yeah. Which is
this is down. Okay, so now this is default download video for social media, which before I think it was just downloading it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been downloading the raw files for when I'm using in Topaz. So I think that it makes it easier to edit. I don't know personally don't know what was going on there. It sounded like people were having some compression issues, but I'm not overly technical enough to have looked into that. And
me either.
It.
Yeah, me either. Just
yeah,
I don't want to have to think that technically about it.
It's too much.
So all that's. I mean, this is really interesting.
Yeah,
because if this drops, and this where did they say this was at? They said this was ready for testing.
Huh.
So if my Spidey Midjourney senses are correct, which they're often not, but unless I'm traveling, then I know they go up like tenfold. But like this to me sounds like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm really surprised to see the word professional film production in there. Like,
right.
Considering the lawsuit and everything.
Me too.
And seeing like, oh, we want to get into the
it wasn't too long ago, was it?
Yeah. I mean, this is why I don't know if it's just like they have to execute on the roadmap and continue to do this while they're in litigation, but it's also sort of interesting that this is where the direction is. And also as to when the timing of the lawsuit, like very, very interesting now seeing this piece as to where, all these, pieces of information can start to fit together. So, it makes you wonder a little bit.
It does. It
Right?
does. I mean, like, I'm really interested to see that. What does the professional one look like? What does that look like? Because that's what we're really. I mean, if we're already thinking of Midjourney favorably, what does that do?
20x more expensive, though. I mean, that's like the S3 category.
I know.
In terms of where it is.
Which that's the caveat. But they did talk about that earlier, right? They're like, hey, look, maybe we do two options here, right? One that is ridiculously expensive but higher quality, and one that is more of a gateway for everybody to use it. And they kind of talked about that in office hours, but then they didn't. It's crazy because then they don't really give that caveat when they released video. It's just like, here's our video, and so people are judging them based on that, and that's not even the higher end model.
Yeah. And their video is still great.
So that's what I'm saying is like, I feel like what the fuck is going to happen with that? And how long away are we? Is that 2 weeks? Because if that's 2-3 weeks, that's wild.
There goes my bank account again. Thanks, Midjourney, for that. That's I mean, look, it's weird that they said they could do it. He was like, it feels like they found a happy medium where it was like, we could make this really good and it's going to be really expensive, or we could make it more accessible. So I think the 480p and the accessible side of it, where it's at right now, available to everyone on every plan, right? Like that's a great entry point. It's so much better than launching with like here's extra $120 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in the
agree.
high quality model. So I think they did that one right.
And like you get it's almost like the PLG motion behind of it. It's just like, hey, just get the product in people's hands first.
Yeah.
And then people will justify the spend after too.
I mean, I'm way more likely to pay more money now that I know how it works, right?
Same.
Even though we were going to do it regardless, just because this is what we do. But I mean, now knowing what's possible, I'm like, yeah, of course I want to push it further. Like that's probably majority of the user base as well.
I mean so bro, I can't wait to see that. Then you got, so just wrapped up video updates here. Here was the last part of it, which you and I were just talking about quickly before we jumped on, which is audio and sound, right? People are asking the obvious questions of, hey, can you start to add in the capability for speech or sound effects or what have you, right? Just thinking about it from like maybe this VO3 standpoint. This is the 5 minutes of the call that I caught, which was they're considering low quality sound effects for implementation, which sounded like they could pull that off. I mean, relatively easy, and it wouldn't be this drawn out thing. And what they mean by that is like ambient sounds. So like more of the passive sounds that would take place, right? So if you've got somebody in a field, it may be the wind, or, stream, it may be a water, or they said traffic, footsteps, things like that. And I think you said, look, like the reality is things like footsteps, kind of hard to match up manually. So like even something like that, even if it is just the sound effects, would go a long way.
Its sound is hard. I mean, every time I try to do it, I'm just like, I end up spending the most time because I feel like people will forgive like some of the video or image side of things, but like you can't forgive bad sound. Like bad sound it ruins the whole thing, right? Like if it's mismatched footsteps of someone running, like your brain immediately picks up on that and says
like,
that sucks,
trash. Yeah,
right. But if someone like, same video, if like the standard video generator thing, if someone's running, like sometimes they do like 2 steps with the same foot, like, or the legs like sort of morph together.
Yeah,
you sort of forgive that, right? It's if it's really poor sound, you're like, yeah, this ruins it. So I've always found the background stuff to be the hardest. To really like match the atmospheric quality of the sound to make it.
Well, I think like to your point, like the footsteps thing specifically, because the way that I would go about doing that, if I were trying to do it manually right now, because I'm not doing anything inside of like Adobe Suite to try to match up sounds, I'm just not doing that. I would probably just go into CapCut and see if I could find footsteps, and hopefully the cadence is aligned with the cadence in the video. Because otherwise you're going to manually have to adjust the speed of maybe the video to align with the sound effect or vice versa, right? Like there's some like other ways that you could probably do it, but it doesn't feel easy, and it doesn't feel like a perfect match either, right? So if they were to do something like that, and I think footsteps is the perfect example, that would be great. And it's a good bridge too, because I do think the speech thing is just going to be harder to figure out, and that's what they sort of alluded to here, is just like no speech synthesis planned initially. It'll happen, but I have no idea when, and I have no idea how long.
I mean, there's only one to two tools that have figured that out. So like it's tough. But like if you go back to that explore page, cool. Just talking about the sound, right? Like that lion, right? You look at that, and then if you've never tried to create sound for a video, you realize how much it sucks when you just do like, all right, let me just get like a lion growling, but the lion growling is isolated, so it just sounds like a lion. It doesn't sound like, oh, there's echoes that are bouncing off the walls in the in the shopping mart. You don't have like the hum or like the buzz from like the iridescent lights. Like you don't have the background.
You got to layer in sound, right? Like more than one sound. That's kind of what I'm learning too. Like when I'm adding. When I've started to do more of these little videos with sound effects, is at any given time, and if you, so we're gonna go off the rails on this, but like if you meditate, there's a mindfulness part of meditation where you're focused on the sound around you.
Yeah.
And when you focused on that, if you've ever done that, there's almost always at least 2 or 3 sounds going on at any given time.
Oh, so many layers.
Almost 2 or 3, if not more, just depending on where you're at. Right. So even just now in this office, I can hear the air conditioner. I can hear slight things outside. I can hear, the plumbing system here and there. I can hear my dog walking footsteps, faint. Like, so to your point, right? Like, you got to kind of like layer those things if you're going to do it manually.
It sounds weird, right? Like you definitely done. I know I've done it where it's like, or even like the depth, that lion might not be in the foreground. It might be a little bit further away, but if it sounds like it's
play with the
blasting
decibels
you in the face.
Yeah.
Like there's respect to sound engineers, man. Like they are awesome, and like when you get in there and realize how much it screws up a video if you don't have it done well, like there's not to go too far off topic here, but like if anyone has seen Dave Clark's stuff on the shorts that he makes on X or on LinkedIn or whatever, I always comment, I'm like, dude, yeah, your animation's awesome. I know you can do that, but the sound is killer. Like I put the headphones in and I'm just like, it's all synced and it's all crisp and it's all remastered. And I'm like, dude, it sounds like I could put this on my sound bar on my TV and this would sound like it's cinematic.
This one, I look at this one.
Yeah.
This would be a perfect thing where there are so many things going on here sound wise.
Yes.
The sludge of the shoe, the water, you're in this city. Right,
you got to have the background hum of the city.
You've got people talking. You've got cars honking. You've got there's just so many things going on here to think about.
You might have wind or rain in that situation as well. Like there's a lot of layers to bake in there, right? I mean, like it's until you've tried it, you don't necessarily, I guess, understand how crappy like one layer of sound sounds until you've listened to it and like that doesn't sound real at all.
Yeah.
But, dude, I'm for them regardless. Like if they can add some of that, like at least a layer, like I'm cool. Like if they can match an atmospheric sound, like depending on the depth of the character or whatnot, like that would be awesome. Like that one over on the right with the person walking in the big hall, right? Like over on the right, like if it could match like footsteps there, where it's not sounding like it's blasting me in the ears, where I know there's depth, and like that's all it gave me, I could play with the rest of it. You know, like that's. If I'm asking for anything, that's sort of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, sounds like that could be like feels like that's a good next step.
Yeah.
You know, like that feels like a nice step into it. And then you could focus on the speech later down the road. But
I got a question for you on the explore page. Let's do this in real time. Like if you click on a video, does the smart search work the same way with video, or does it just take you to
there's not an option here.
All right. Because I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, not an option there. Let me see. If you were to go in, I mean, you could still technically like click into the profile. Right? So, I mean, you could see somebody's stuff here if they've got it not in stealth mode.
Interesting.
But
kind of want this.
But I did notice this. I think if you click videos, it's going to bounce me out of this. Yeah. See that? So it doesn't show. So let me just let's confirm this. So if I click in here and I want to see what other videos this person's created, it's not showing me videos.
Got it.
Just showing me
just images.
Images, unless they've got stealth on their videos. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's just, so you click videos, it bounces you out. So no smart search on the video, and then doesn't look like you can see other videos that creator's created. I did see something though right here. This was interesting. So a couple more updates here, office hours related. User profiles coming to the website.
Cool.
So I mean, technically there already are user profiles in the sense that you have a name associated, right? And just kind of what we were looking at, like you can click into somebody's work if it's not hidden, right? Like, so here's a person, like this person's just got one thing that shows up here, right? They've certainly created more than one image, but that's all they have that shows up here. But let's see. But I don't know what that means, right? Like from a profile perspective, what does that mean? Are we going to be able to see like
might be a social
more of like a social profile kind of thing where I can see maybe how many images somebody's created in total and the tokens that they use or the styles that they have, right? Like I think there is something very cool there. Again, this goes back to one of those core pillars that we talk about with Midjourney community.
Yep.
Unmatched. They were, there was this request a long time ago. I remember this from like, man, this must have been V5. But like people were asking about, hey, like, are we going to build out like a social, like a profile thing? And at that time it was no. It was like, no, because we don't want to turn this into a social media sort of like feel.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that has shifted or if this is just a different interpretation of it, because that would be interesting. Like, I think what I would want to see if I were thinking about that is it would be cool to understand the types of images maybe that people create, maybe top tokens that they use could be interesting. Maybe even maybe there's a style explorer tied into that, like in terms of like SREFs that they like to use. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think of like aggregated information that would be helpful or would inspire my creative process to like build on. Right. So
I wonder if it's like a portfolio, right? Like, could just be like a portfolio, like add 50 images to your portfolio or something like that. Like, that feels like that's how it might start, you know?
Oh my God.
Look at that.
Look at these. These are hilarious.
That looks like the
Oh
stuff.
my God.
That,
these are creepy. Look at this. What?
It's like what I get out of my personalization code.
This is this. If your personalization code had an identity,
yes, that's it. That's a good one. I like that. It's just no person. Did you see that one that had the negative prompt on no person?
Which one? Where did you see that?
The one that
this?
Yeah, no person.
Oh, unglued photography. What is unglued photography?
I don't know. Run that though.
Oh,
we got to see what that is.
And I'm gonna do a couple things. Let's do this. Let's do
what unfurled tongues want.
What is this?
Who is this? Emmervark? Because this is right up our alley.
Chaos 50. We don't even need to do weird, but we could. Let's
Nightmare fuel.
Let's run the. Oh my God. Yo, I think I did run that as a prompt recently. Nightmare fuel.
I think we did it with my personalization code.
Did we
on one of these episodes?
No, what was that? Homesteader.
Well, that was Homesteader too, but we definitely did some. I think we did Nightmare Fuel also.
Let's do it. Sorry, guys, we're going off the rails here a little bit.
I just want to know what
this is why you guys watch
photography is.
Right.
No idea.
Unhinged? Is that what we're talking about?
Maybe.
Let's do chaos 0 and 50. All right. Let's see what we're getting here. Unglued photography.
Kind of weird.
Oh boy.
All right.
Unglued. Okay, so here we're starting with.
Oh, you got your mood boards on.
Oh, what? Why are they on? I didn't even have these things on.
Common problems here.
Bro. Oh my God. Now I got to run this again?
Also, have you noticed subtle update? I don't know if you noticed this, but if you try, let's just do it live for the show. Delete the prompt real quick.
You don't want me to run this?
No, I'm saying delete it and just push up on the keyboard because it's been pulling my permutations in.
Oh, no way. No way.
Which I think.
There's no way.
There you go.
No. Oh my God.
We're back.
Guys. Dude. That's
huge unlock.
That's major.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. That was a huge pain. So I noticed that the other day and I was like, oh, that's nice.
Shut your mouth. Oh my God, that's amazing. I wonder, can I run this many permutations? Let's see.
I think. Yeah, you should be good.
That might. Oh, let me.
There we go.
Please tell me I turned off. Yep. Okay. All right. Now let's get into this.
Yeah, let's
for
see
real.
Unglued photography is.
I guess I could take my personalization off too completely.
And maybe it was the no person that he also had nightmare.
No person. Yeah.
Or something. What the hell was this guy prompting?
Let's see. Let's do no person. What was the other thing that he had in there?
It was like crippler or something like that. It was weird. It was all in the prompt. But
I'm gonna take. I wonder if should I take my personalization off?
Take it off. Yeah.
All right, let's run that too. So unglued. Yeah. So all these do have people pretty much. This one's fucking
cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
And then this one is cool. Could be cool if this ghost is doing something.
So unglued.
Interesting.
Ooh, what's that one with the purple coat on? What's going on in that image? There's like a head of flowers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Flowers, baby. What is going on here?
I don't know. That looks like something from my.
This is unglued.
That's what we're talking about.
We got long leg hair matched with all kinds of crazy. Yeah, that's now that, my friend.
That's Midjourney's dark side. Sheep, always. Let's see what else we got here. All right, now we're
So it's got a little bit of darkness to it, which
definitely
is what I would have expected, except for this one. But this is Chaos 50, so okay.
You never know what you're gonna get at that 50 range.
Yeah,
Look at those freckles. That's that's like reminiscent of 5.2, right?
This
there.
one, yeah, it really is.
I like that though. I would screw with that. You know me.
This is where we at?
Bubble
still?
wrap head. Whatever that is.
What is this? I gotta see.
Is...
Ah, come on. Now that is one thing I have noticed though.
What?
When I've run something with permutations, even though I should technically be able to very subtle and very strong on top because it can keep so many in queue.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be meeting that threshold and it still won't let me do it. So, for example, let's wait till this gets to like 17, 18. Because technically I should be able to run this.
Yeah.
These very subtle and very strong before this finishes. So, boom. Well, maybe it did let me. Maybe that's just me. Because I've been running a lot of those SREF permutations, and then I'll run those, and then I'm trying to like subtle some stuff, and at the same time, it's like not letting me. So I thought maybe it might just be the permutations, but maybe not. That's cool.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
That's
that
cool.
It comes up with.
This might be like one of those cool ones to run, like especially like maybe even with the SREF stuff, just seeing what happens.
I'm interested to see what the no.
Oh
person
my
stuff.
god!
Yes, there we go.
What is that?
That's why we run Unglued. Upscale.
What is that?
All right. I see that we get into the no person stuff coming up.
Dude,
that's.
I mean, I like that too. It's fire. Okay.
Here we
Nightmare
go.
Fuel, baby. Let's go. Damn. There's some sick
That's
stuff
like
in here.
Stranger Things.
This is creepy as fuck.
I like that happy face.
Yeah.
That creeps me the hell out.
Oh, digging that. That's cool.
Very, very hazy.
Look at this.
What's the haunted like Little Mermaid fish? There you go.
This guy?
Dude, I actually like that. See, I like that
Which one?
deer or that stag you just came across. That one, like I might play with that one as like an SREF to see if I could like move that into like other characters. We don't have to do that, but I'd like that's where my mind goes with that one. Like having just like someone made of like stardust.
I wish I could give you images, for example, that I don't like, because I would never, I wouldn't do anything with that, is my point.
Really?
But you would.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I would
it
see
just
if I
kind of
could
feels like a
mimic
waste
that
if
style.
no one,
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy.
I do like
I'd fuck with
flames in
that.
one.
Oh my goodness. Yikes.
Also, wait, hold on. Go back a few. Where's that really low res one? Like hit auto motion high on that one on the video. Like I got to see what it does. Like this is the type of things that I'm saying. Like I wouldn't put this into another.
I like where your head's at.
But I want to know what it's going to do with that.
That's a good point. I kind of want to see what the fuck's going on with some of these in motion. Would be crazy.
Right. It's like a cheesy 80s movie.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like almost like Teen Wolf, but
Yeah.
instead of a wolf, it's this fucking thing. Scream.
Yeah, some of these, like that one, I'd be like, what is it going to do with that? Like I would never put that into another one because I know it's just going to be wasted credits, but we failed to submit undefined. It's a little bit too gory.
Damn.
Are we? Oh, we're not even in the no person yet.
We're not even. Yeah, we're not even there yet. That's why I say I've ran so many permutations. Okay, so we're almost there.
Let's see what we got. Interesting. And still get your pink and blue with your personal profile code.
Yep, always.
Always.
I almost forgot about that because I've been so heavy in the SREFs. I almost forgot about my crappy personalization.
So used to it.
Okay, so this is now we're here. This is with personalization off.
Okay.
So now we're just looking at unglued photography for what it is. No personalization attached, no person. So I'm wondering what we see here. Okay, so this is 0. This is chaos 50. So these are going to be a little bit more extreme and differentiated. Here we go into EXP 15.
All right.
Okay.
Interesting. Not what I was expecting.
Not what I was
honest.
expecting.
Thought it was going to be way more like
Now
that
that's
blob-faced.
That's kind of nuts.
Like that blue color. All right, here we go.
Also
This is the
cool.
Fun stuff, you know?
Also cool. Yeah.
So random.
I wasn't expecting to see like this. And
Yeah.
like the leaf on the rock by the river. It's like, okay, what is that? So I wonder what it interprets unglued as.
Just weird.
I was thinking it was more of the horror thing, but it's not exclusively that. And then let's get into, let's just quickly go up to Nightmare Fuel here. See what we're getting with that.
It always has a very distinguished look for horror. I always find, for whatever reason. I don't know if horror is that, like, if it's that just like tropey, like, if that makes sense, like where you can sort of just like, you know, sharp teeth, like,
oh my
like
God,
thin slant. That's
this is
shit. Yeah.
What is this?
That's the dark side.
Yo, what is this?
Is that going to be our,
Oh my
our
God.
thumbnail?
Dude, oh my God.
It's so creepy.
This is personalization off, so I am curious now to run. But anyway,
Yeah.
this is yeah.
Check
So,
out
I mean,
the video real quick.
Yeah,
See
let's
what
go.
the
Yeah,
videos did.
yeah, let's go up to the videos here. This is the ghost, okay. Dun, dun,
Little
dun. Oh, we should
wrap head or
yeah,
whatever
we
we're
should,
going to call that.
we should put this guy in motion. Come on, what are we doing with that?
Let's see what the let's get into the I'm really curious about the low res stuff. Cuz sometimes it like auto corrects it when it's like that. Sometimes like the super sort of like low res stuff doesn't necessarily translate, like it'll turn into like a 3D asset. It's the only time I've seen it sort of transform anything like outside of its style.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Those are fucking nuts. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. So we got like a found footage, like it looks like it's in a submarine.
Turned into a skull at the end there, didn't it?
Yeah, look at that. Interesting.
All right, so this is motion high.
See, like sometimes it just wants to turn into like a 3D, like
Yeah,
sort of
that's one of those.
asset.
Remember, we were kind of talking about like patterns that we're seeing with some of this.
Yeah.
Like this was one of them where there's like almost like a 3/4 turn. Then there's the other one where it almost does the full rotation, like this one.
Cool how it turns it into a skull though, because that's when I was like, oh, what's turn? Oh, look at see that looks like some
That's some creepy
Again,
shit.
like
That's some bottom of the
submarine
ocean
footage.
stuff right there.
yeah. That's what this looks like, but also the fact that it's turning it into a skull, like then I would probably play with that. You know,
Oh, it didn't run the motion low.
it's too gory.
It's creepy as fuck.
It's just again. Which other ones did we run here?
We ran this
that
one.
stuff. See, I'm always interested in how it's going to like interpret something that's weird.
Motion
like that.
low. Yeah, because it's already in motion too.
Yeah. And it's doing like high frame rate camera stuff. This one's cool. Like that's again, like,
pretty wild.
Wouldn't expect that, but I might play with that. Same thing here. Like, what is going on there?
There we go.
All right.
That one's kind of That one I get. That one's too much. There's the rotation.
Yeah, it's got like some programmed motions into it.
Yes. Yes.
It's like when it doesn't know what to do. That's cool.
Yeah.
Keeps that blue perfect. Like,
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Oh, motion low. Motion high.
that looks so
Now
natural.
look
Yeah.
at that one. All these movements, pretty nice.
Yeah. Like
Boom,
everything, even
boom,
the flexing of the
boom.
shoulder muscles.
Yeah, there's
there,
not,
like you see
there's
the
no like little
definition.
there's no
Yeah.
glitchiness in there. That's
Like, look
that's
at
a
the
good
difference in the
example.
shoulders. Like you could see like all the muscle movement.
Yeah,
There.
yeah.
That's cool.
This is a really good example. Because even right, okay. So starting at the beginning of this too. Look at the way this person's. So you think this is the white of the eye?
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I interpreted it at first. And I think it has interpreted that. But these are like the kind of things I see, and I'm like, I'm wondering how it's going to pick it up. Is it going to?
Yeah.
And usually it does a little bit of both. But this one, it's like it kind of tricks you, but it works.
The white eyelids,
Oh,
right?
yeah. So it's like,
It's good.
okay. You know, so then you had that whole movement, no problem there, smooth. To your point, like the arm, the definitions in the arms and the shoulders. None of this, these all feel like natural movements you would actually make. Even the head, even like the head tilt and look back down.
That stuff I have to prompt for most of the time. You know, like that's because it just wants to, it like doesn't want to do it unless you say it on some of the other platforms. But
Like, see, that one's not bad, but you can see right here it kind of falls off because it's like, this feels weird.
well, it did the white eyelids on all of them. Interesting.
Let's see about this one. Yeah.
Like
That
even
one
that
feels-
rubbing of the knees, right? Like that's not something you typically see with like the
There-
look right and then
The rub, now the hand movement here is awesome.
Yeah.
It's this almost like I know I'm a robot facial expression. I don't know what to call it, but it's like this facial expression on the image, like the subject's face, where it like knows it's not real. Like, look,
Where it's like,
like,
oops.
oh, I'm a robot. Okay, yeah,
So weird. I mean, it's oddly natural. Like there's your programmed 3D rotation movement.
which this one's great because sometimes what you'll also get is it'll swing and then it'll swing back, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, just go all the way around.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. Also good. Let's go. Like I'm just gonna back up so we can look at these quickly, and we don't have to look at them one by one. So this is motion low. Okay, and it did a rotation on all four of these.
Yeah, sometimes like when it looks like these product shots, it just like immediately goes into rotation mode.
So I think that even like if you're trying to like reverse engineer that, it's like, okay, there's no background, so it looks like it was shot in a studio. The product is already in midair, right? Which those two things are very indicative of product photography, to your
Yes.
point, right? And so it's not a coincidence then that you're getting 4 rotations, in my opinion, right? There's some connective tissue there. Same with this. All these are rotating.
Oh,
it's not like the
yeah,
shoe's
100%.
walking, you know?
But if you
So-
say that, it does do that oftentimes. You know, like
Right.
if we're just like mushrooms growing. You might have to describe it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's where it gets interesting because you want to see what it's going to do first and then sort of take it from there. Right?
my
This is the
God.
weirdest thing I've ever
What is
seen.
this going to be?
Oh.
This really is nightmare fuel.
Yes. That's it. That's the most
Oh my God, these two right here are fucking tripping me out.
yeah, real weird. I know
Oh.
what everyone's thinking. I'm not going to say it because we're on YouTube, but I know what everyone's
Right.
thinking about those
Okay.
guys.
It wasn't just me. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's looking a little too.
Oh, see, that's
This
interesting.
this could be a fun one. Maybe not like
Yeah.
this exact image, but like that idea of like something over, somebody's trapped in something, somebody's got something, like they're trying to wrestle something off. Like that's kind of a cool animated movement. Like
Yeah.
this one here is kind of fun. This one all the way to the left.
But it's-
I feel like that would be a
handling
perfect
certain
extend.
as well. Like that plastic wrap is the way that it's being sort of jostled and all sort of interacting with itself. Is that Kim Jong-un in there?
Yo. Oh my god, that's funny. I ran these twice. Okay.
That's pretty good. That one where the woman's face pops out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, like you see some of this stuff, you're just like, what?
Yeah. So I mean, there's some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Creepy.
There's a few.
Okay.
There's a few that I have that are like kind of interesting in what it did, which I was like kind of trying to break it, which was like these. I had these images of like a face that had sort of like holes in the face, but like saw through to the background, if that makes sense, to see how it was going to look. And they just took it and ran with it, mimicked the background. I was like, there's so much complexity in that. A lot of the other ones would just sort of like auto fix it and be like, oh, no, that's not what it's supposed to be. Like, let me make it a real face, like a human face, not keep it the way that it is. Actually, let me pull it up real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, pull it up.
This one, so everyone knows what I'm actually talking about here.
Curious to see what's on this leaderboard still. Generate multiple angles, same subject.
So this is what, like, kind of crazy that it's looking through the face, right? And like seeing the background. This one even has like depth.
Speaking of things that you see in images that maybe aren't suitable for YouTube.
Which one?
One with the holes in the face.
Oh, I was going to say, I was
You
like,
know
am I missing something?
When you know, you know. When you see it, you'll see it.
I do. I see it. I just didn't. I thought it was something else. You know, there's so many random ones. I had like a profile code that had a lot of nudes for a while for whatever reason, because it was just like that's just how it generated, and I was just like, I don't know why it did that.
Rory.
But like this stuff too, dude. Super.
Why haven't I, dude? You know what? I just remembered what I haven't. I haven't even tried animating those human bouquet ones yet. I should go back and try those. Yeah.
It's like half of your probably 180,000 generations.
Yeah,
right?
I gotta go. I just remember that. I was like, that made me kind of think of, or that one below it did, where there was like a bunch of items. What is that one below or what is that one with the sign? I guess
this one.
Yeah. What is this?
It's cool. It just like sort of like traveled into it.
I like that top right. That top right one.
Yeah, it's good. It's some of this stuff is super super fun. Like I was just playing. I try to take like these weird ones and see what it's gonna do. I never sort of know. It feels like a stage visual or something that would be like a concert. This one didn't impress me too much. Being candid, it was like I thought it would be a little bit cooler.
It's pretty cool. I mean, but there's also a lot going on there. I wonder, have you tried prompting? Okay, that's a perfect example because they're like two basically variables that have movement or could have movement there, right? You had that soldier or whatever that was.
Yeah.
And then you also had the film on the screen. So I don't know, maybe you want both moving, let's say. Or maybe you want one stationary. Are you saying, like, let's maybe help people out here. Do you need to prompt for both of those variables? Meaning having the film move, and maybe you want that soldier to stay stationary.
Maybe. I haven't tried it yet because I've just sort of been testing with like what this can do. Like this kind of stuff, I just like let it run. I'm like, oh,
that's where I'm saying, like, I think this is deep, right? Like, it's going to take us a lot of time to kind of like go through some of these experiments because that's a good one. And I'd also be interested if you've got two variables like that. Is it better to go about calling it out in the prompt itself, or by negative prompting and saying like no walking, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Probably on the former, if I had to take a guess, because the latter feels like maybe that. But still, like, again, like that's a great experiment to test and try to know how these things like can operate together when you've got multiple things going on in one scene.
So like this kind of stuff to me is just wild. Like it's just taking this mood board and then like making it three-dimensional.
Cool. Yeah, that's
right?
pretty cool.
Like, the fact that it's just taking like these section things and actually like doing something with it, which I'm like, all right, that's insane. Like these are. It's a really, like, for me just to push auto prompt and get that, I thought that was pretty awesome. I mean, like I was obsessed with these for a while. Oh, this is how about this one? I don't know if I have the good one here, if I can find it. This was for context. This was a picture my mom sent me of an image that I drew her, like when I was like 7 or something. She's there's to the coolest mom. There's no other mom like you, and she has a wooden spoon that's shooting a rainbow at a dragon. And I have man, mom's really cool, right? So
You drew that?
I drew that when I was really young.
Dude,
But,
can we put some respect on that, bro?
dude, like this is how it just took that and
Dude.
animated it. And I'm like, this is so awesome.
Imagine
Right?
if you were a kid and you had this in your hands.
This is what I'm saying. Or even just take your kids' drawings, throw them in here, and describe the scene of what you want to happen.
Dude, if you're a kid,
Yeah.
I mean, there's still something extremely magical about just the element of drawing something and having it there anyway. But imagine just the context switch in the medium. If you're a kid, and you draw something, and then all of a sudden you do something like that, and it's just like, yo, these are novel things happening here. I mean, it's insane. That's pretty
right?
crazy. Yeah,
Like I was so obsessed when I started doing it. I'm like, this is so damn cool.
that's a great dude. You have got to post that one. Like,
Yeah.
that has got to be a post.
This one, I realized it. I forget when I did this. It was like late night. I just wanted to like test it to see like what it would do. I'm seeing there's like a bunch of extends in here, so I'm trying to find if there's ones that are a little bit more novel. Like, yeah, there's like weird, like it went in like a million different directions, which I was cool with. I was like really digging.
I wonder with this, right? Like, it's a really cool drawing. It's already kind of in motion.
Yeah.
Is there a way to like? This is where it's like, is there a way to like really subtly get them into where it's at right now in this frame versus just like jumping immediately there?
Well, I had the prompt here. It said we crash zoom into an immersive scene. So if I take that out, it's like not.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted it to sort of jump into, like to come to life. You know what I mean? You ever seen the movie Page Master? Do you remember that one from?
I
back
don't
in the
know
day?
that one, and I don't
right.
think I've seen it.
It was Macaulay Culkin animated movie back in the day. It was like you went into the books, like the kid went into the books, and like he was in like Moby Dick and like a few other things, but like it sort of reminded me of that, where I'm like, this is so much fun. Like if I had if Faye was drawing, I would definitely take it in here and do some stuff with it. Like you could do this with your girls if they're.
They're drawing a ton of stuff right now. I should
Right?
try it.
Like, I mean, like, this is...
Yeah.
I have a lot of extends here, so I forget which one is which. But, like, that one, to me, was a ton of fun.
That is awesome.
I had a lot of fun with that. Some of these were really impressive, too. Like, I was, like, basically asking for someone to come in and bite. Like, they whiff here. But I can't remember which one it is, but some of them you see it, and they're like, And you definitely get it, right? Like some of this one, bite the fingers. That one, we get it a little bit. But it can do it, and here you get like the full action of the bite.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Without her actually releasing, you get some of the crunch of the sandwich, the lettuce moves. Like that stuff was pretty impressive to me. This one, she actually gets it. I'm like,
What about,
all right.
Hey,
that's
what
real.
about, I don't know if you were planning on showing this or not, but I saw you had, maybe it was your post today on LinkedIn, but it was the idea that you could take, you could basically isolate a certain frame within that video using Weevy.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, so
That's
for example, like going back to what you had there was a perfect moment where she looked like she was really biting into it in a very believable, realistic way before then something else happened, right? So it was almost like, okay, if you wanted to take that, isolate that exact moment rather than taking it into another tool and, cropping it out or whatever it is. But
let's see if if I can just get this one on the first shot. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Where was it? This one?
I like those though. Those like maybe it's the colors
wasn't
too.
it?
I like the color palette on those.
This is it. All right. So we'll do this. We'll do this live, right? So download this. So in Weevy, I built a frame extractor in about 2 minutes, which is so useful for this stuff. So let me see if, where is my frame extractor? Right. Basically, it's just 4 nodes. You upload a file, you extract the frame. You can play with the composition if you want to from like a perspective standpoint, not perspective, aspect ratio standpoint, and upscale it. So, essentially, let me see if I have to, do I have to delete here? Nope, I might just have to add another file. Import, so we'll upload the video, right? Once it's uploaded, run this thing in here, change this up. Cool. Actually, might have to redo this compositor. So this comes in as a background, but now I can basically like isolate per frame which one I want.
Yeah.
Let's say it's here. It'll just come up here as a way to go into now Magnific if I wanted to, and run it as an upscale. So maybe we want to get to like there or something like that. I can isolate this and then download it. Just run this, see what happens. So this thing is so helpful. It's such a simple application, but I always want to I really like that portion of it. You know what I mean? Like that portion of
exactly.
So I can take it and sort of run with it. But yeah, if you guys haven't been playing around with Weevy, it's awesome. So again, take this, upscale it. Teeth a little bit screwed up, but regardless, super fun. And there's a million things you can build on Weevy, but this was the other one I wanted to talk about because I just found them to be so awesome. Maybe I'll just pull up the video.
Like the colors. The colors on those.
Is
that an SREF or no?
No, that's my one of the ethereal mood boards mixed with a bunch of other stuff. But really, I just wanted to take this and see what it would do with it, right? So it turned it. I did add the prompt butterfly effect. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that's going to be. We'll see what happens, right? And it just took this skull and turned it into from that skull to that morph into a person. I'm like, oh, that's sick, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what else can we do with that? And I think I went into.
That could be a whole thing too, right? Where it just continues to keep morphing into different things.
Yeah, because I was trying to see what I could do. This was all right. I didn't like that. But then I think I went into where maybe I'm going to see this one. Butterfly effect. Nope, that's the same one. Those are the extends. Maybe it's just easier for me to show you on X so I don't have to try to find it. That's the only problem here is trying to find this stuff, in between the extends and whatnot. Like this here, same one we just saw. This one was crazy. This next one really blew my mind. It started there, right? It started with the
full screen it.
What's full screen it? So it started with the skull, and I just said go to be a ballerina dancing, and it took the overhead perspective, which I thought was sick. It just turns it into that. This one was more of a bloom. I wanted a fractal bloom to see what it would do, and it sort of ran with that. And this one was just super cool. I don't even know what's going on, but I like it. So it's interesting, right? It can do this kind of stuff where that brought a whole new perspective to me. I'm like, oh, can this run?
If you're using Midjourney even for, I just think the easiest application too to start using video is more of the abstract-ish gradient. It's not a photorealistic thing. There's application for the, I could already see that one with just the bloom or whatever it is, right? Being a background video on a website, right?
Yeah. And then this is where I was playing with it a lot, which sort of gave me the idea to then go run it with the other image generators, or video generators. But I was like, let's just put a product in here and see what it does. So I wanted to morph it into into a mushroom, the drink is a mushroom infused drink. So I was like, oh, let's play with this and see how it can handle it. I was like, this is damn cool. If you can do this, make a SMS asset out of this or something.
Kept the text in place too.
And it gets really unique with some
now
of the stuff.
Now just wait till it's wait till you could start to get the texture changes and the wrinkles and the folds with the text in there. That's gonna be
Oh,
Wild.
Some of these it does it. Like this
Oh,
one, it
so
just
okay.
blends into it.
So
Yeah.
that one, for example, yeah.
And I had to extend it a million times, but then I ran it. Then I tried it on the other tools, which ended up being pretty good. Like I was like, all right, let's try this with Seed Dance. Let's try it with Kling, and we'll try it with Minimax. So it actually did this really well. And also, if anyone's noticed, it's super smooth because I upscaled this to 4K and 120 frames a second in Astra, which makes it look like that sort of like 3D effect, right? Where it has like that super smooth movement.
Yeah,
But Kling
that
crushed
looks
on this one. I love
that looks
this.
clean. Yeah.
But it was so I'm like thinking about this in terms of not just like, all right, we can do the fun stuff. We can also have some practical application for this as well, with utilizing it in a few different ways. But I was having a ton of fun, just like, oh, I can do these like morphs now, right? Like which I was not expecting, and then even probably taking some other more. I don't know if I went into some of this stuff, but yeah, we went into some of that stuff. But like the idea that this is now not just like working within the image, but I can like take it and like run somewhere else with it and like make like a really sort of, it's creative, man. It's just like there's no other way to say it. There's no other way to say it other than it is creative, and it can take your idea and it can run with it. So who knows what that professional model is going to look like?
Professional model. So like as we wrap this up, couple things to look forward to. Just to recap. Professional model, super interested in that. User profiles coming to website. What is that? Moodboard
What does that even
update
mean?
launching this week. What is that? What's the update? How does that change things? You've got the audio, like the potential like sound effect implementation into video, the looping functionality, the end frame feature in dev. So,
Do we mention the API? Do we have to?
oh, I don't even think we
We have to
mentioned
cover
that.
that. We just have to cover it real quick, everyone, because it is important. And
Business
everyone's been asking
API
for it.
launch. It's let me just give people a little read along here. So here's what we got from the notes. Opening applications for business enterprise API access. Initial rollout to 10 to 1,000 of their largest customers. So I did catch this part of the call too, is like for the initial, let's just call it group of 10, this is going to be very, very, very expensive, is what David said. Then he said, after that, right, when they launched the sort of like that next group where maybe it's 100, it's still going to be expensive. Then when you get to sort of like this 1,000 idea, it's like, okay, it's going to be much more approachable, affordable. So they're
Wonder
going
who's
to
gonna
roll
get
that
in
out in phases,
small
but
group.
yeah.
You think it's
Slow,
gonna be
controlled ramp up based on feedback. Pricing will start. Okay, it does say that. Pricing will start extremely expensive and gradually decrease. Application form with screening questions. So they're definitely looking for the right testers, customers with that.
Yeah,
as
I have a
well.
feeling it's going to be the standard go-to sort of client.
Who can afford it? Because
yeah, I mean, you'll put it on. I think you'll have it on things like Free Pick. Like I'm sure Free Pick's interested. Like maybe Weevy, Flora, things like that, where it's like you just have like all the tools available, and then you
Korea.
Korea, they might see Korea as a competitor. I don't know. Like Korea's kind of was like the only real competitor for them for a while, like in terms of creativity and stuff you could do on there before they started becoming an aggregator. I'm sure they like vibe with Korea though, in terms of like the sort of like the maybe not, maybe I don't know, but it's interesting to watch the sort of if you can hear the ABCs in the background. There's, but there. There's I'm curious to see like what the match is, because I feel like they'll be pretty selective on this.
Yeah.
And the weird thing
It's
is
coming though. It's coming.
Yeah. The one thing to probably note is you won't be able to use Midjourney the way that you think you can use Midjourney. Like when you
Limited,
see
light
like,
version.
Kling has like a million features on their website, but you go through any of the tools that have API and it's just like generate video. Like that's it. So you might not be style reference.
That's a
might
great
not
point.
be permutations, might not be, all the fun things that go along with it. Very subtle, very strong. Like it's all, it's what makes their experience so different is that there are so many options there. But just if anyone is looking forward to that and thinking what it might look like, it's probably going to have to be trimmed down because there's no way they can have that.
I think
level
that's a
of
great
functionality.
point. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about that, but that's absolutely probably going to be the case. They're just, and Midjourney especially has got so many of those little feature things. And
Parameters, like I don't know. I mean, I guess I
yeah,
hope that would
and
work.
you know, like
Yeah.
even just thinking about like the mobile experience, there's still things on mobile that you, like on mobile that you only can do on desktop. Like the editor, I think is still the old editor on mobile still. You know, for example.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's going to be stuff like that. I think that's a great point.
just to put that out there. But
What else, man? I mean, is there? That's exciting stuff coming up. I'm still super hyped about all of that. I think I'm like the most curious, just because like I feel the other ones are a little bit more. I mean, obviously you've got the professional video features. I think I'm definitely interested in that, but while vague, I feel like what it's saying is it's higher quality, right? Like, so I'm expecting something better than what's there, and if it's that, then it's like, okay, I know what I'm getting. But I guess what I'm most curious about that is vague at the moment is the user profile stuff.
yeah,
Because that is one of those elements, that community social aspect where Midjourney could capture that if they want it. And how much of that's intertwined, right? Do you want to build, like to your point, is there maybe like a portfolio thing there, or their most highly used tokens that this person uses? Like what kind of elements are there?
yeah.
Because that to me is an opportunity to like also differentiate and build community aspect.
Keep the community going. That's it. Like just any more things that you can do to keep piling on top of it, because it's already strong even without, I don't want to say a lot of attention. The office hours is enough attention, right? Like that's more than anyone else does. So it's like, if you're looking for places to expand, it's definitely that. The community side of it. But yeah, dude, I'm just like, what the hell do you even expect from a professional video at this point? Like, this stuff is so crazy to begin with that I don't know. Is it going to be
And is that one
sleepless
doesn't
week?
that one doesn't come with sound though? I mean,
Maybe. I don't know. There's so many variables to video, which is what makes it like impossible to sort of like give any framework on it too. It's just sort of like, here's your infinite canvas, like play with it. You know what I mean? But I'm amped. It feels like they got their mojo back after a few things with V7.
there were some not worrying moments of 2024, early 25, but like kind of like, okay, what we doing? We're talking a lot about stuff that's coming. We just haven't seen anything in a while. Now, they're not doing I don't know if they're still operating under this like we're shipping something every other week kind of thing. It kind of feels like they still are.
Like
I mean, if you got this Moodboard update coming this week, like they said, that would be another 2 weeks, right? That you got something new, and then I don't know what the deal is with Style Explorer or when you're going to get this end frame thing, but those sound like they're coming up. Then you've got this, if this professional thing is testing, that's past training, testing, a couple weeks away, So it just kind of feels like there's several things starting to line up here again where you're like, okay, there's like some big drops coming.
They'll probably be while we're away. So let's just
yeah. I need to start like thinking about, am I traveling? I know you're traveling, so
next week.
There you go. There you go.
Might be then, but yeah. Hopefully it's new. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they just keep on this rapid pace that they're doing right now, because it's to me it's just so much
fun times, man.
One after the next. Just keep us excited. We're excited with video. Like again. Anything new is like a cherry on top at this point.
Yeah.
Still. So we'll see. But we'll probably going to be just a little caveat here also. Next couple weeks, a little bit crazy traveling for conferences, things like that. Might be a little bit behind schedule on some of these episodes. We'll definitely try to get them up as much as we possibly can during the next 2 to 3 weeks.
We'll see what we got. I mean, we always try, like we try to adjust if we need to, but that said, like if there's no major thing happening and that happens, it's like, okay, maybe we skip that week. But
but in the interest of time, I do have to jump off here. So let's What's
Same,
rock
brother.
and roll?
Yeah.
What's rock and roll? Everyone, if you made it this far, you know the damn deal. Like and subscribe, please. Tell
You know the deal. Come back and find us next week. We'll hopefully have a new episode for you. And then if there's anything else that jumps out to you guys, we love the comments. We read all of them. We try to respond to as many as we can. So keep those things coming as well. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
See ya.
Peace.